Hi YouTube, and welcome back to my random thoughts on Thursdays. This week I'm going to talk about being a gamer. Alright, so most of you who follow my vlog regularly probably know that I'm a gamer. I used to post a lot of gaming videos on this channel, and if you go back into my video list, you'll see from before the new year, there's going to be tons and tons of gaming videos there. And I've since broken my gaming videos out to a separate channel called Kleineganz, and I'll put a link down in the description below and maybe over right here as well, so that if you want to check them out and subscribe to my gaming videos, I would really appreciate that. But anyway, I did a video ages and ages ago when I first started my vlogging and talked about being a girl gamer, and I got a lot of positive responses from that video, and that's what prompted me to start doing gaming videos in the first place. And I just thought I'd kind of revisit the topic because I am an older woman in my 40s and I still play video games. Part of that might have something to do with the fact that I'm child-free and the fact that I have a little bit more time on my hands than most women my age who probably are still raising children and things. But, besides that, I enjoy gaming. I have been literally playing video games since, I have absolutely no idea how old I was. I could have been 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, somewhere in there. But I have been playing video games since Pong. My uncle got the Pong console game when the consoles came out. So Pong originally was an arcade game, and then they made a console version a year or two later, or something like that, back in the 70s. And so I remember playing this, and I was a tiny little thing, but it was an easy enough game that even if I was only 3, I think it was easy enough for me to control it. I mean, if you've never seen Pong, I'll put a quick shot of Pong up right there so you can see what it's like. It's basically a tennis game or ping pong. That's probably where the name comes from, is like a ping pong game, and you've got the little dot that goes back and forth, and you have to try and catch it before it have your paddle hit it back the other way, just the way it's ping pong is played. And it was a fun little game. I mean, I only ever played it when I went to my uncle's house, and at home we never bought video games when I was a kid, just because we didn't have the money for it. But my mom did buy me a mechanical version of the game, and I forget the name of it off the top of my head. If I think of it, I'll put it a link to the description below with information, because I do believe I found it on Wikipedia or something at some point that described the game. So if I can remember the name again, I'll post a link down there. But it was cool. It was a cool little thing. It was very similar to Pong, except that because it was mechanical, it was basically a little LED, a little red LED that was on an arm and would randomly, go from side to side. And you had buttons 1, 2, 3, and 1, 2, 3 on both sides. And you could either play 2-player or you could play against the system. So it had a little computer in it, and you could, play just against the computer itself. Which, computer. I'm using that term very roughly. But it had like a randomized set of options and things, and you had to make sure that you guessed, like, it was going to the 2 position or the 3 position or the 1 position, and hit the button in time for it to go back the other way. So that was, it wasn't a computer game necessarily, but it was fun, and it was diverting for me as a kid. And then when I got a little bit older, my uncle had a TI 99 4A, I think it was called. It was basically a computer. It was literally a computer. It wasn't just a gaming console, because it had a whole keyboard and everything. You hooked it up to your TV, although you could get a monitor to go with it as well, but it worked just fine with a television set. And you could put cartridges in it. And it did more than gaming, but the only cartridge he ever bought for it was a video game cartridge, TI Invaders. It was their answer to the Atari Space Invaders. And to be perfectly honest, I actually thought TI Invaders was better, because I used to play Space Invaders on friends of mine's consoles. And the TI Invaders, the aliens, as the levels got harder, every level the aliens changed shape and became harder and harder and harder, and eventually they got like really skinny and they got really hard to hit. So I thought it was a better game, to be perfectly honest. And they actually did a number of different games. I think they had Munchman or something like that, which was their version of Pac-Man, and a number of other games that were like their version of something that Atari was putting out. And I actually thought some of those games are actually better. And there's actually a PC emulator for these, for the TI-99-4A games. So there's someone actually put together an emulator, and it actually works pretty well. I have one video that I think is on this channel still, called Retro Gaming, where I actually show you the game. I actually was able to record some gameplay on it, which was kind of cool. So that was the extent of my gaming up until college. And then in college I was able to use computer labs, because I still did not own my own computer until I moved out to Colorado. So the entire time I lived in Chicago, I never owned a computer at home. But then I got the computer labs in college, and I got to play SimCity. So that was like, you know, I was in love. Absolutely love SimCity. Amazon Trail and Oregon Trail I also played quite a bit. These were all the games from the Department of Education. We were learning how to use these games in our curriculum, or in our curricula would be the proper plural of that. And it was interesting to do that, but then I would go outside of class and just go and play because I just loved it. And I've been following, for those of you who know me, I've been following SimCity since the beginning. I've been playing that game since the beginning. And like SimCity 2000, which was the next version, and 3000, and then SimCity 4, yeah, because they didn't go to 4000. The only one I've ever been disappointed in, to be perfectly honest, was SimCity Societies. That was a horrible game, just absolutely awful. The gameplay was just wasn't fun. They like sucked all the fun out of the game. So this latest version that just came out, I really enjoy it. I know a lot of people are having problems with it when it first came out, and the online stuff and everything else, but I'm still having fun with it. So, you know, to each their own. But, you know, getting back onto the topic here of me being a gamer, being, you know, one, I'm a gamer, and I'm a middle-aged woman, basically, and I still enjoy playing video games. But that I also post things onto YouTube. I mean, I would say the majority, 99.9% of all YouTube gamers are teens, early 20s. PewDiePie is probably one of the older ones that is posting, but he's also one of the most successful ones. He's got a good reason to keep doing it because, hey, it earns him an income. And it, you know, obviously it doesn't earn me an income. I do it because it's fun. That's why I do it. And if you go to my channel, you'll notice I don't have a lot of subscribers on the games. I don't have a lot of views on the videos. I'm not making buku bucks off of this by any means. But I keep doing it because it's fun. I was doing SimCity and Sims 3 for a while, but I've decided to kind of take a break on those. And right now I'm just doing RPG games, Diablo 3, World of Warcraft, and Ion. And I may or may not mix in other games over time, and I will probably go back to doing The Sims and stuff like that. I think I definitely want to go back and at least bring my Sims 3 series to a good conclusion, because Sims 4 is coming out in several months. I've heard rumors of like 100+ days from now is probably when it's going to launch. So I need to, you know, obviously I'm going to start a whole new series with that and everything. And SimCity, I may or may not start something new or resume the series I was playing before. Haven't decided on that yet. But for right now, I'm just kind of taking a hiatus from those because I've been posting the Sims 3 ones since that was like the first series I started on this channel. And I have like just so many videos and everything, and I think it's on its 3rd generation now. And the 3rd generation is getting ready to get married and and move out and do their own thing as well. So we'll see where I go with that. But I need to bring it to a better conclusion than I just kind of left it hanging at the moment before Sims 4 comes out. And then I'm going to be soliciting from like Twitter, especially Facebook, etc., Google+, and soliciting input from people in terms of like, well, what would you want me to do with The Sims 4, you know, and try and do a real proper Let's Play where people actually interact with me. So I'm hoping that folks will be interested in doing that with me. But yeah, it's interesting because I am older and I am, you know, not your typical YouTube gamer, since most of them are young. And even though, you know, age-wise, the average age for a long time for gamers was between 35 and 40. It's recently dropped to, I think, 33 is now the average age, because there's more and more really young kids coming online playing and gaming and stuff, and their parents are letting them game. And there's a whole nother topic right there, is talking about, you know, what's the youngest you should let kids play and all that stuff. And that's a whole nother topic there. But in general, over the years, people's reactions to my being a gamer has kind of really changed. There used to be like, oh, you play video games? Oh, you know, you must have no life. You know, they imagined me being extremely overweight, living in my parents' basement kind of person. And very often they were surprised that I was female at all. It might surprise you to know that over 40% of gamers these days are women, or female at least. There's, you know, plenty of girls playing video games as well as women. And, you know, I mean, and not all the girl, you know, like, there's a stereotype girl gamer. Well, some of us, you know, some of us play video games because we actually really enjoy them, and we're not doing it because it's cool or whatever. You know, I've never been one who's been into fashion or trying to be trendy or whatever. Some girls are doing it because they think it's trendy right now. Whatever, but I'm a gamer. I happen to be female. I happen to be middle-aged. But it's a fun hobby, and I think it really engages the brain a lot more than just sitting there passively watching television. In fact, there's been several studies about that say that actively participating in a video game is actually better for the brain. It engages the brain. You have to think strategically in order to achieve your goals in the game. And there's just a lot more going on in your brain when you're playing a video game. You're not just sitting there mindlessly pushing a button or whatever. You actually have to think about what you're doing if you want to at least have fun with it. You can't have fun if you're not thinking about what you're doing in the game, because you're just going to die all the time, for most games. Obviously, with something like The Sims 3, you're not going to die unless you purposely try and block in a lot of people will take their Sims and block them into a room with no doors and watch them die because they're sadistic. I've never done that. I have never purposely tried to kill my Sims. I've let them die on their own. You know, like, if there's a fire in the thing, if I can't get the fire out in time and they die in the fire, well, I didn't do that on purpose. It just happens. It was an accident. So, but some people like doing that. But there's not all games are violent. Not all games, you know, have to do with destroying things, even though there's always an element. Because even in SimCity, there's nothing to do with destruction, but you can always turn on natural disasters, or you can even create one where, you know, you send a tornado through the city and just wipe it out. You know, I guess some people just kind of enjoy that kind of thing. Nah, never been my cup of tea. But anyway, what do you think about adults playing video games? And follow on, what do you think about adults playing video games, posting them to YouTube? You know, do we have no place here in this YouTube universe or not? I don't know. I mean, I've never felt unwelcome posting video games. I'm obviously not as popular as the young kids are, but, you know, that's just, it is what it is. But I'm going to keep posting for as long as I enjoy doing it, and once I get bored of it, then I'll probably stop posting. I won't shut the channel down, but I probably, or maybe I just won't post as often. It depends. But for right now, I'm still having fun with it, so I'm still going to post 3 videos a week and go from there. But anyway, I hope that you enjoy my vlogs. I know this week wasn't as controversial, it's more conversational this week, and less ranty, because I didn't really find anything to rant about this week. Yeah, having an off week, you know. But anyway, if you enjoy my vlogs, you know, please like them, please share them. I really appreciate people who share them out to the world and help me find new audience members. And, you know, please, if you haven't yet, please subscribe. I definitely appreciate subscribers. If you become one of my top subscribers, I add you to a circle on Google+, and I send out occasional messages just for that fan base. So please subscribe and engage and leave comments and like and do all that kind of stuff, and then you'll eventually end up in my top fan circle, and then we'll go from there. But until next week, take care. Bye-bye.